Good evening, everybody. Good to see you guys popping in. All right. All right. Some more folks come on in. We'll get started here in just a minute. As usual, I'm your guys' host this evening, Todd Callahan, CEO of the organization, and wanted to go ahead and start off as usual with a update of all the new things we've been releasing on the platform. So first and foremost, we added a lot of stuff. Um, this is the new version that's going out right now. Should be up by the end of tonight, if not tomorrow morning. Um, you can now edit your rent comp tables. So when you're in the platform and you are looking up your rent comps, you can now click on any of your rent comps and change the data if you have a different piece of information. Skip tracing, when you skip trace on the platform, it will now tell you how many skip traces you have left. So you don't have to keep guessing. We've expanded our rent database. You can now, when you're hovering over the map pins, the sales and rent comps, you can see all the information on it. You can now also, the CRM integration is going, I think, live or about to be live as well, which is great. To connect it, and we have a bunch of other small bugs and fixes and tweaks we've been making in the last couple of weeks. But we have another big version going out right now, so pretty pumped about that. We have that you guys get an email about that with a new version here right away. Um, absolutely. Steven, guys from Canada, great to see you on Mark live stream today. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Steven. Happy to have you here. So, what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and pop open BI. Go ahead and answer any questions you guys might have. But and we'll go ahead and I'll start showcasing some more deal analysis and some while I go ahead and give you guys some more updates. So, right now we are still being consistent with about a new version every week. We're pushing out a lot of upgrades. Like I have 32 upgrades that are going out tonight. Um, that are just too long to have to announce. But basically, all the little tips and tricks and like minor things we've been upgrading. So I do want to take a second and I want to play around with the prop with uh, a market that I've been looking into a lot recently, which is Indianapolis. So recently in Indianapolis, we've seen I was looking for some areas that a client could be open their BI Diamond member, so could find some deals. So I was looking for some spots across the entire city that had a solid amount of appreciation with some good multifamily. And what I found over the course of a couple hours of research, just checking things out, was one, overall the city's been appreciating pretty well, certain, but only up about average of about 4.6%. So what's crazy is that in this period of time, right, the whole city is only up about 4.5%, which has been really, really slow. So the city as a whole hasn't appreciated a ton, but certain zip codes are going crazy, like 107%, 142%, even 250, 150%. So while the city overall has been relatively consistent, certain areas have seen massive growth. And I thought what was really cool about Indianapolis was that basically the entire north side is down, whereas central west and central east is up. So I was looking for some areas. I thought this was pretty interesting, and I knew I wanted to stick around where my price point was going to be and where I could want to afford. So I was looking for areas where the median home price was below the average. The city's average home price right now is sitting around $300,000. So I was looking for areas that were under 300,000 but growing very quickly. So I was looking over here. I like this spot, $200,000 valuation, 270 valuation, but also and 218 valuation, but still growing very quickly. So I'm gonna add that as my layer, but I like the eastern part. Next up, I started looking for where all the multifamily is. So I went ahead and did my asset type check and did asset type for 2 to 4 unit buildings. And pretty quickly, within doing the search, figured out that most of the multifamily in this area was one also in this northern area, but I knew that most of these spots were also losing valuation, which I wasn't too keen on, so I didn't really want to focus too much up there. Then we saw some multifamily over here on the west side. but the areas that I saw that had the most appreciation that I wanted to go after were over here. So when I checked out these spots, I wanted to find which area had the most appreciation, but also some of the best multifamily. And that was clearly this zip code, 46201, of this western, of the kind of eastern section, and this one over here, 46229. So these two areas I was the most interested in. So I started taking a crack at this spot over here, and pretty quickly then went ahead and did my income check. And over the last about 7 years in this submarket, income's going up really quickly. So overall, lower income, but up almost 50% in the last 7 year or 5 years. So gentrifying very quickly, which I love to see. And then I started doing my checks for some deals. So I was looking for some uh, off-market multifamily opportunities to go after in this one zip code that were also owned by investors that have owned them for at least like 5 years. That were also people who owned a couple others. So hopefully I could get like a repeat deal going on here. And when I did that search, I had 9 different properties that came up. So I was looking at deals over here and I was checking them out because when I was looking at properties that were available, there was a ton of opportunity to buy like duplexes for like 60 to $80,000 a door, which is exactly what I recommend. So I was looking for some properties and I found what was it? It was no. Was it on market? Oh, maybe it might have been an on market deal I was looking at. Oh, I might have, yeah, it might be too far south. Hold on. So I think I was looking over here. There was some on market multifamily that I thought was really cool. Yeah. Let me find this. Take a look, see over here. Yeah, like yeah, there we go. Okay. So like these duplexes over here. So I was checking out properties like this. I'm like, okay, it's a 4 bed, 2 bath, 2,000 square foot duplex. So 1,000 square foot sides. It's owned by an absentee out-of-state owner who's where it's currently vacant and it's owned free and clear, and they've owned it for almost 8 years. So they bought it in cash and they just been sitting on it for a while out of Arizona. So on this asset, right, I can see that they bought it out of foreclosure for 4 grand. Stupid crazy. And then the Marion County auditor sold it to Marion County for 4 grand, and then they sold it to these guys for 8,400. So they bought it for 8,400 in cash, and it's worth like 200 grand, which is insane to me. They crushed. They did a great job. They're trying to sell it for 190, right? So I started looking at the property, and I'm like, okay, I came over here, I looked at the photos, right? And I'm like, that siding looks really good. It's a pitched roof. The windows look good. There's new flooring. The paint looks fine. The cabinet is butcher block cabinet, updated cabinetry, right? You have office space, updated bathrooms, updated everything, right? This looks great. This duplex is ready to go for $90,000 a door. That's awesome. They clearly did a bunch of work, and when you spend less than $10,000 to buy a property, like yeah, sure, not a problem. Like, I totally get it. So then I came over here and said, okay, awesome. To do a 2 bed, 1 bath apartment in this area, those are renting for 1,200 bucks. I'm like, okay, 2 bed, 1 bath apartments renting for 200 bucks. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off all my condos because these weren't condos. Hold on a second. There we go. So by 1,100, 1,200 bucks, it's like 1,150. My insurance estimate for this property is only about 6 to 7 bucks a month for my landlord insurance, and my comps valued it a lot higher. So I went ahead and took, okay, great. Based off this numbers, if I bought this property for 189, I was able to rent it both sides for 1150. That put me at $2,300 total rents. Pop on a property management fee. Property's updated, so I drop my repairs and vacancy to 5%. Have my insurance quote and everything in there. I could buy this property and net 400 bucks a month, and at today's interest rates, make a 12% cash on cash return after mortgage, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, utilities, management fee, repairs, vacancy, and capex. True net cash flow, 400 bucks a month, but my gross cash flow would be over $700 a month at today's interest rates, which is a 22% cash on cash return. I thought that was a really interesting kind of deal to look at. And so that's why I was taking a crack at Indiana. I thought that was pretty cool. Now there were a couple things to consider over here. The schools were okay, not great, but there were a ton. Look at it, a ton of charter and private schools over here, like a ton, a lot of charter and private schools all over here. So North Star Christian, Ruta School. So not a lot of public school information, but tons of private schools, which I liked a lot. And the area overall, from a franchise perspective, if I recall appropriately, had, let's see here, not too much. There was Starbucks, but kind of on the north and east side, which wasn't great. I didn't see Trader Joe's. I didn't see a Whole Foods. I thought there was a Chick-fil-A. Maybe I was wrong. So like I didn't love the fact that my high income franchises were over there. We saw the income over here was like 40 something thousand dollars, so it wasn't super high income, but the price per unit was just crazy. So I thought that was really, really, really interesting, but definitely warrants a longer term hold because the area's income is going up and the population depreciation is going up really quickly, but the area isn't high enough income to support these spots yet. So having a really nice duplex in this area for a good basis made a lot of sense to buy in now, especially when the property's been on market for 140 days. Right, this is the time where it's like, let's go ahead and take this down and buy something that makes a lot of sense. But they're definitely, taking too long to sell it because we know that this property in this area, the average days on market for the submarket is not 138 days. The average right now is bum, 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 48 days, and it's been consistently going down, right? So during COVID, this area peaked at 109, then it went as quickly as 29 days, peaks at 66, and right now is averaging 48. So this property is close to being on the market for 3 times the zip code's average, which gives me a lot of negotiation power when it comes to getting this thing transacted. So I thought that that was pretty cool. I like looking at markets like that, something that I'm interested in learning more about. And for those of you guys who are, looking for, maybe you're even an agent or someone working with you and you're looking at properties, you can always say like, show me Indianapolis properties, right? Like you might say, oh, show me multifamily in Indianapolis. It's just if you're doing it this way. So like you might say, okay, great, I've got this duplex, 401 South Randolph Street for 199. Okay, great. Pop that into BI, 401 South Randolph in Indianapolis. Great. I found it. Open it up. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and edit the data. First off, I open up on Zillow, of course, as always, showcasing it. They just listed it. Okay, it's listed for 4.2. I'm going to update this, call it a 4-bed, 2-bath. Awesome. Currently listed on market. Save my settings. Awesome. And when I'm looking at this property, guys, right, this is one that we found on market, grades through a different platform. That's fine. I know that this person was an absentee out-of-state owner. They bought it in cash. These guys bought it less than 3 years ago for $140,000, and now they're trying to sell it for 199. Not likely. But what's interesting is we want to go see their linked properties and see that this is the only property they own in town. This is it. So if they're trying to sell this off, this is the last thing keeping them in Indiana. Last thing making them fly out there, do trips, do visits. So being able to make an offer that gets them out of this property is probably something we can make happen. So go through here, run my rent comps. A 2-bed, 1-bath apartment in this area is running about $1,100. Again, I'm gonna turn off my condos, and I'm still about 1,100 to 1,200 bucks, which is great. Gonna come over here to my oh wait, turn that one off. That's crazy. And turn that one off. That's crazy. There you go. And we're gonna go ahead and go to my insurance quote. Pull my insurance, 52 bucks a month. Home prices are down 5% right now, so I'm going to use that in my negotiation with the seller. Days on market are up 50 to about 8% year over year, and the income is really low over here, but the population has rebounded since 2013. Took a big dive, and now it's on its way back up, which is awesome. But it is pretty low income. I'm a little concerned about that. So I don't like how low income it's going to be, but it is growing. So I have to be really careful how much I can charge for rent. But based off the rent comps of 1,100 bucks or so, this market, again, I could buy it for 198, put in my property management fee, and with today's interest rates, it was at asking price could make 8%. I wouldn't offer asking price. I would try to offer hmm, 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 yeah, but 165. Make a 15% return at today's interest rates. Not too shabby to me. Plus, when you look at your gross profit, you're approaching a 26% return. That to me makes a lot of sense. So writing an offer at 165, pending an inspection. Oh, great. As we look at photos in here, that roof looks kind of janky, right? But the butcher black cabinets look good. LVP flooring looks good, right? It's a single family style ranch. So there's no stairs to worry about, right? Could be a pretty decent little property, good rental to own or pick up, especially when you can put away that kind of return on a monthly basis. So there's some more deals that I've been looking at in ways to use BrightInvestor. When you find a deal on market or someone sends you a deal, pop in the address, go check it out. I really like that. I really like checking it out for that kind of deal. So there's some things I've been looking at recently. We have three BrightInvestor Diamond members right now making offers. We have one person making an offer on a 6 unit. We have some people making some offers on 4 to 10 units, and we have a person making an offer on a duplex right now, which is really exciting. So a lot of properties currently being offered on in today's marketplace, which is really cool. But that's how we've been using BI recently to make things work. So Steven, I know you're a Canadian national, or cousins to the north, who's considering buying real estate in the U.S. So if you don't mind me calling you out a little bit, you want to go ahead and meet yourself and give me a little background on you and what you need and what you're looking for. I can hear you now, I think. If you're driving, no problem. I don't want to get you in trouble.
No, no, you're all good. No, so I'm actually from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Pretty close to Banff. I don't know if you ever heard of a place called Banff before. Lake Louise.
Okay.
Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so I'm like an hour away from Banff, but yeah, so basically where I'm from in Canada, just trying to get funding for investment properties because I'm self-employed. It's just a nightmare, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like to get funding, like even lending. It's a big headache, and also the prices where I'm from has appreciated over. Like a duplex where I'm from is about $1 million. You
Wow.
know what I mean? Goes to show where it's
Dude,
like
no way.
I'm kind of priced out in my area. Yeah, so I actually came
Yeah.
across the school community, the Colorado community,
Yeah.
and then I connected with a lot of investors that are investing in Pittsburgh. And I've been doing like my 90 days research in Pittsburgh. I'm currently at like around day 30 right now. Well, just doing a lot of deal analysis, and I'm seeing that a lot of the properties down there, especially multifamily, the 2 to 4 unit properties, great cash and cash return, upwards of like 10 to 12%. And I'm like, like what you said this morning in Mark's live stream, you have 25% down, put it somewhere in a property. And that's what I'm currently trying to do. And I'm currently trying to hopefully try to live in the US in the future. Just so much more tax law stronger than Canadian dollar by a lot. Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah, no,
absolutely.
that's basically kind of my story there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, anything you can do to get some like US 2 to 4 plexes are just unbeatable. They're crazy good. If you can get the
Okay.
right opportunities. And right now, the buying opportunities are crazy, which is why whenever I work with people, right, I'm a huge proponent. Primary, secondary markets across the Mississippi corridor is what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
What we're looking for, right? We're looking for these properties along, Minneapolis, Rochester, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, St. Louis, Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Columbus, Lexington, Louisville, uh, maybe some Little Rock. But anything in the Mississippi corridor just crushes. You got a lot of multifamily there. that you can get for pretty darn good pricing overall, which is what I'm really interested in being able to, point people towards. Because when you can do that and you're buying for 60 to 80 a door, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
And think about
Yeah.
it, there's a lot of multifamily 5 years ago that you saw me kind of go off on the live stream this morning. That
Yeah.
5 years ago, those properties were selling for 180 grand,
Yeah.
$40,000 a door, and now they're
Crazy.
renting for over 1,200 bucks. I'm like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
the time to buy, the opportunity to buy is now, right?
Yeah.
Because like I know if I can put you, or the proverbial you, if I can put you in a thing of multifamily property that cash flows $600 a month at a 7% interest rate today, I know that in 10 years from now, when we refinance at a certain point in time with rent growth, you're going to be cash flowing $1,200 to $1,500, $2,000 a month easily. And
Man.
that's why I want people, that's why I'm trying to get people off their butts and to go buy some of these, because it just makes so much sense. And yes, we're not going to get back 18 to 2016 pricing. It's not going to happen, right? It's just
Yeah.
unfortunate. But we can buy these things now
But anything,
that really make sense.
yeah. No, that's exactly why US is the land of opportunity. I think Canada is just I don't know what's going on over here, man. But yeah, 40,000, no, 60,000 to $80,000 a door is just crazy. $600 cash flow. Like everybody in Canada, they think they're investors, but everyone's just investing in alligators that are just all negative cash flow. Every almost so-called investors that I talk to here, I ask them, "Oh, what's cash flow on your property?" They're like, "Oh, what's cash flow? I'm actually having to pay out of pocket and hopefully playing with appreciation." I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking that's more like gambling. I heard just don't play with appreciation. It's more so cash flow, right? So yeah, that's insane, and definitely want to get into the U.S. market as soon as I can, man. But yeah, that's no, definitely hearing you on Mark's live stream this morning is like, yo, I need to wake the f up and yeah, get bullied a little bit and get a property, man.
Absolutely. It's the
Yeah,
time to do so, right?
yeah,
Because it's the time to do so. So I'm glad I was able to help communicate a little bit on getting some value out, and happy to
yeah.
answer any questions I may help you get things taken care of and help you make it work
No, I appreciate that. I was
for
gonna
sure.
say, Mark dropped your Instagram. Is that the best way I can kind of reach out to you, if anything?
Yeah, I'll put my email here in the chat. That's the best way to, because I just get blown up. There's my email right there. It's donato@brightinvestor.com. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me and
Hey,
get things going. Yeah, absolutely. Shoot me an email.
for sure.
Um,
I know you're pretty busy, so I don't want to like, you know, be that
no,
nuisance.
not a problem. Not a problem. Well, we can get something. Happy to help folks and get
Yeah,
at least get the ball rolling in the right
yeah,
direction.
yeah,
And that's why we have these office hours, right? Anybody can come to office hours as well and ask questions and get some kind of live support and training.
yeah.
Um,
No, I
so
appreciate that. Oh, sweet.
you got it, man. You got it.
Hey,
So yeah, so guys, overall, I want to go ahead and open the floor for questions. If anyone has a deal they want to look at, if anyone has a market they want to look at, if anyone has something they want support with, if anyone has any questions, I'll also go ahead and let you guys know we are updating all the content in BI right now. So it's been brought to our attention that we are upgrading things so quickly that the videos that we have in Bright Investor explaining everything get outdated super fast because we just keep adding more and more. So tomorrow, within the next 48 hours, I'm re-recording pretty much every video inside of BI to reflect the most updated version. With again, like I mentioned, we have about 32 upgrades going live tonight based off user feedback, and we have another 25 that we're working on for the next push as well, including a lot of more upgrades. So we're not slowing down. I think we've been speeding up our release schedule. So just get ready to watch for some new upgraded content, new upgraded videos coming out, explaining everything on using BI a little more effectively. Prepare for a little more upgrades on everything inside of it. Again, big shout out to Andy as well for giving us a lot of feedback on things we can use to improve the platform, especially for PMs. And we got a lot of stuff that you've been speaking with Drew about going out. So thanks again for the support, the feedback there, um, including the ability to edit rent comps. Andy, that's going live tonight. So I know you talked to Drew about that. So we're pretty happy to be able to drop that. Uh, Paulina, where can you remind me where we can watch the past sessions? Yeah, so in the okay, so as a Bright Investor user, Paulina, you can email me. There's a specific link I can give you. um, that's called the Bright Investor Archives. The Bright Investor Archives has over 35 hours content of me just talking about market research and deal analysis and different webinars. If you email me, I'll give you the link. It's only accessible to Bright Investor members. So I will give you that. If you email me that, I will send you the link to it. I get it for it. Uh, Andy, Drew's my new chat buddy. Absolutely. Absolutely. Drew comes to me and he's like, man, Andy had a good idea today. And I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. And he lets me know. Sees the partnership happening. Absolutely, my man. And we really value that. And the fact that we're able to thankfully turn things around so quick. We've been, this pushing things through, like I mentioned, over actually 32 on that page plus another list. So we have 43 things going live tonight. Another 24 more we're working on. So we are definitely goals to keep rolling out more and more upgrades for you to help make it just even more powerful, even more valuable. So we're really pumped to be able to keep dropping out more content and more upgrades.
Mm.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, Ganada.
Yeah. Hey, just how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Apologize, I was a little bit late. Had to switch from another meeting that, of course, ran a little bit over, but nature of meetings. Um, for Pittsburgh, when Stephen was mentioning that, I was thinking about that because, again, also part of that, one rental at a time community. I haven't joined school yet, but that's again on the to-do list. But uh, multifamily in Pittsburgh. Uh, you know, Stephen had mentioned Mark a second ago, and then there's like a couple other guys who were out in Hawaii who have been investing in multifamily properties out there. It's kind of caught my eye. They Some of the guys from One Rental at a Time do some uh live streams with like investors and stuff like that. So kind of got me thinking. I'm a little bit curious. I don't want to like, just start going into a whole bunch of different markets, but one of the things that did have me a bit, I don't want to say gave me pause, but something to consider was taxes. So would you
Sure.
mind doing like a, hey, let's, you know, do a, quote unquote traditional, like, hey, I'm quote unquote brand new to Pittsburgh, wanting to look at investing. So, let's like try to target like a, uh, we'll just say multifamily, something 2 to 4. Ideally, I'd like to see a quad, but I'm not going to sit here and be picky, but like if could we just go through that as an exercise for Pittsburgh to kind of just
Sure.
see what's available?
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do the same recap model as always. So for those who aren't familiar with recap, rent, employment, crime, appreciation, population, be the same check every single time. So I start with my appreciation, last 5 years, median home price, and I'm going to use this to get an idea if the area is appreciated by over 5% per year, right? That's my goal. And I want to find zip codes within the market that are outperforming the rest of the city. So the city overall is up about 2% per year, overall 10% in the last 5 years. So not my favorite, but it's going up. And pretty much immediately, any of these areas in red, I don't care about because that's all areas that people are losing home value. So ideally, I want to find places that are outperforming the rest of the city, which means they need to have gone up by more than 10%. So this area is up 74%. That's great. This area is up 16%. 32%. Okay. Okay. So I'm automatically drawn to this area, right, where homes are cheaper, but also growing a lot faster. So I like that spot. So I'm going to go ahead and save this as a layer so I can come back to it a little bit later. Next up, we're going to do our population check. Again, city by zip code. I'm going to go last. Yeah, that time frame's fine. Let's see which areas have been growing. Ideally, we want to be in the areas that are growing population wise and growing appreciation wise and home price wise. So we'll let this run for a second and tell us a little bit more what's happening about Pittsburgh as a marketplace, but also Pittsburgh within the individual zip codes. So let this run. This is the slowest data type on BrightInvestor by far. It takes forever, but I just it's we're working on it. It's just been the whole thing. It's a whole thing dealing with the census. But
And
let this one
and
run
one
for a second, and we'll find out. Let's see
and one
here.
thing I will say while it is running, like I actually have a couple of team members who recently moved to Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool.
They were living like here in the DC area, but they were like, yeah, like we have like flexible work arrangements, and they decided, Pitt or DC is a little bit too, what's the word? Expensive, a whole bunch of stuff
Sure.
going on. So they were like, Pittsburgh is close enough, where, not immediately near all the craziness, but, still a lot of good stuff going on.
Hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna do instead of doing the whole city, I'm just gonna do that one zip code I was interested in, which was this zip code. Turn off my layer. Thank you. So right here, see what's going on with this one zip code that I liked a lot. Give me this zip code. Oh, was it city? Interesting. Show me this boundary. I want this zip code. Come on, BI. I want this. I want to play with that. Interesting. Okay. So let me check out my income. Why is it doing that? Why does it not want that one zip code? Where is that zip code? Is my question. Hmm. Hmm. No. Is that a specific city? 15235. Interesting. Interesting. 15235. Oh, okay. It's a township. That's why. That's annoying. Okay, it's a specific township. Great. That's gonna make my job way harder. All right. So let's go ahead and do a usual check. Let's check out our schools in the area. Seeing decent schools. Okay, decent schools. All right. Let's do a quick let's do a quick franchise check in this area. Chick-fil-A's, none. Oh, yeah, that's two. Okay, great. Target, Starbucks, Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, none of those. Dollar General. A lot of Dollar General. Okay, a lot of DGs. Okay, usually we want to be a little bit closer. Wherever the high income franchises are, the DGs aren't. So, yeah, nice little smattering here. So, don't love that. Kind of want to be a little bit closer to this vibe, more toward this direction. I'm going to be investing in this zip code overall, which is fine. Right? We know that zip code is this entire space. So I want to be as close as possible to like this region if I can. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save that as my layer. Now I'm going to go ahead and check out all of my, let's see here. Because the township's going to be weird, which is going to be annoying, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. Let's just go ahead and let's just go ahead and do a blanket search for our multifamily here and see what we got going on for our multifamily. Let's check this out. Let's say we've got here, here, here. Now I'm making BrightInvestor freak out because I'm searching for areas that don't technically exist. Okay, so we're going to look for off-market multifamily in the zip to show me what we have overall. A lot of properties. Awesome. Okay, a lot of properties in this area we can go after. A lot of them are trending up towards this direction. I wanted to be a little bit closer to like this vibe because of all these nice little franchises everywhere. But I will go ahead and I'll pause myself for now.
Could we
Let's
check
go
out
ahead
like
and
could we check out one of the ones like you see where it says Garden City, like on the lower right
yeah,
hand corner? Yeah, could we check out a couple of those there? Because I know those were
yeah,
near that cluster.
let's check out one of these. So okay, we got this duplex. It's owner occupied. It's been owner occupied for 24 years. Hot damn. Okay, so Susan, hi Susan, has been living in one side of this duplex for almost 25 years. She might be getting ready to stop to move, maybe downsize a little bit. Does she own anything else? She has a house in Pennsylvania, and she's two. She's single family, has two books. She's been owner occupying this for a long time. Let's see here. Oh, maybe your husband. So John and Susan Robinson became just Susan Robinson. Interesting. Okay, she's been here this whole time. Okay, so this kind of property doesn't have any comps nearby for sale. Let's go ahead and look at what a 2-bed, 1-bath apartment would rent for in this area. About 12 to 1300 bucks. Okay. They're about 750 square feet each side. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off this big one. I'm gonna turn off this one, and I'm gonna turn off those two. So about 12 to 1300 bucks a month. Okay, great. What about this? What's this one? That's 1750. Wow. Okay. How about that one? That's 1400, 1500. Okay. I'll go ahead and do 1250. Insurance 60 bucks a month. This area around this area at least, home prices are up 24% year over year. That's fantastic, right? Days on market are dropping like a log, so people here are dropping like a rock. So people here are buying a lot more properties a lot more quickly, but the price per square foot's going down.
And
Population had an
median income.
insane turnaround during COVID. It's great. And the income growth is this is the best part about this. Income is up 80%, 40% in the last 10 years, and the median household income is over $80,000. When's the last time you saw an area where the household income was over 80 grand and home prices were only 220?
Yeah, that's insane.
That's great. That's huge growth, guys. That's huge growth. That's why this area is growing so fast, so damn cheap, and everyone's living here. So I pop into this and I say, great, I can rent this thing out for 2,400 bucks a month total. Pop in my 10% PM, 5% for repairs of vacancy. So I can't pay her 300 grand for this estimated value. I can't pay her that much. But I know she bought it and she's free and clear, right? She doesn't own anything on it. So everything I give her is just going to be like pretty much straight up just money in her bank. So I say, hey, look, I can't pay you $300,000 for this, but what would she take for it? I'd pay her 220. Yeah, I'd pay her 220. 110,000 dollars a door for this, at max. Especially because the taxes are so low. Everything is just the insurance is so low. I mean, like it could make a great number of sense. Like that could be a good deal. What else is available? What's this one?
Yeah, I know before we go to the next one, do you think that that would be one where she might have been open to seller financing?
She may be because she owner occupies it. She might be willing to do like a lease back situation where, honestly, what I would hit her with is I would say, hey, look, you're probably tired of being a landlord. What I'll do is I'll buy the property from you if you sell or finance it to me. All you have to do is the thing is I'll let you stay here. So instead of I know you own it here, but you also have to pay for repairs and vacancy, and you have to pay for capex, and you have to landlord it. I'll sell it to me. I'll rent it back to you for 1,200 bucks a month. So, and then what I'm going to do then is essentially saying I'm going to pay you. Actually, you know what? That's a really fun mental exercise for me. We're going to do this live. Okay, watch this, Chester.
Okay.
It rents for approximately 1,200 bucks a month, right?
Mhm.
And if I were to watch this is gonna be really fun for me. Actually, it's gonna be watch this. Check this out. Check this out. If I bought this from her at $220,000 and she still financed me like 90%, and there was no interest only period, I would pay her $1,300 a month in principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Oh, if I did yeah. Okay. So my long-term rental, if I did right at $2,500 a month, $2,500 a month total gross rents. If I bought this traditionally from somebody at 90% loan to value, right? I did this, and I did this, and I did this, and I did this, I did this, and I did this. Your principal, interest, taxes, insurance is right about that $1,300 mark, right? So if I bought this traditionally after paying my loan and everything else off, oh, and I got my insurance, sorry, insurance, I'd make about a 15% return. But what if I want to seller finance it? So I say, hey, look, seller finance me the deal, okay, at 4% down, 4% interest, and I'll put you at 10% down. And what we'll do is you sell it to me. I take care of all the renovations and all the work. But now, instead of paying you every single, instead of you having to be take care of everything, I will rent it back to you for $1,300 a month, and I will pay you approximately $945 plus $945 a month in principal and interest. So you rent it back to me for 1,300. I pay you 945, which means you sell the property, lock in the equity for only $400 a month in rent for the rest of your life.
Hmm.
Isn't that interesting? So you basically turn it into you do a seller carry lease back situation. So she gets equity with no more ownership responsibility. You get the opportunity for a low interest, low down payment property where where your creditor is also your tenant. And so she is paying you the money that you then turn around and pay her back with.
Ah.
Bro, that that right
I
there,
like that.
that is
That's
that is
nice.
that was a pro gamer move for me. I'm gonna be honest, that was pro gamer move.
That is
Um,
awesome.
that's yeah, pro gamer move. So that's what you do. You do a seller carry lease back to give her you say, look, hey man, hey, Mrs. Robinson, that's the song waiting to happen, right? I'm gonna give
Right.
you approximately $200,000 check right now. You no
Mm.
longer you $200,000 check. You get to stay in your own home. You no longer have to deal with repairs and maintenance, and you get to rent it for virtually $400 a month until the day you die.
Hmm.
Boom.
Okay.
Sometimes I amaze myself, honestly. That's what you do right
Yeah,
there.
that's good. That's good
It-
stuff.
yeah, because she doesn't want to leave, but she doesn't want the maintenance or overhead. Or she's probably sitting there worried about, is this property going to end up cashing me out with all my work that needs to get done? You come in, you take that over. These numbers right here, you're at a 30% cash on cash return, net, net cash flow. You then go ahead and your gross cash flow, you're making over $1,000 a month on a $220,000 duplex. Oh, oh man, I would call her and make that offer tomorrow. That is such a good deal. God, that'd be such a good deal. Because then you just sit there and then as soon as she passes away, you put in another tenant and it's just, oh, that would be a great deal.
Yeah, that's definitely a screaming deal for sure. Yeah.
So
Oh my
that's
God.
what I would do. That's my 2 cents. That's what I'd do.
Okay, cool. So it's giving me some stuff to think about. Like I said, definitely want to do some more research. Oh, the one thing I forgot to ask about was the taxes. I didn't even get a chance to look at it in there. That's fine. I don't want to take up too much more time, but like it's at least giving me something to start with, so I can go back and try to look up what the property taxes are and everything.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate the good question. Um, any other questions out there tonight, guys? Otherwise, we'll go ahead and we'll wrap it up early, and you guys can shoot me an email if there's anything else you want to talk about or anything you want to learn about. I know Ed's over there taking notes, like seller finance, seller carry back, lease back option where the landlord. I know Ed's taking notes.
Oh no, yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
trying to be a fly on the wall here, man, and soak up as much as I can
Yeah.
and early in my journey here.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Pretty cool concept, though, right? How you create a win-win. Like
Absolutely.
grandma doesn't want to move out of her house, but she doesn't want to be a landlord anymore. You give her $200,000 check. She gets to stay inside the property. You take over all the repairs and maintenance. she gets to essentially live there for the rest of her life for only $400 a month because she knows she can't afford anywhere else right now. If she had to go move into a senior care facility or somewhere else, doesn't have to move. You take care of everything. You get loan down payment. You get low interest rate. You get a tenant who knows the property and is going to take care of it because she lives there. Guaranteed tenant for the rest of her natural life, and then you only have to deal with one tenant. Oh, see, that's the kind of creative stuff that I love. Think that's the fun stuff right there, guys. That's how you make a real win-win situation. Jason does not feel normal without Rich here. Yeah, I know. Rich texted me today. He's in Florida visiting his single family house property that he was talking about last week. So he texted me today saying he wasn't going to be here tonight, but he'll be back. He'll be back next week. We'll make it happen. But I agree, Jason. I agree. All right, guys. Appreciate the time. Appreciate you being here. If no other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. But I want to say thanks for the time. Thanks for showing up. Hope you learned something, Chester. Amazing that your question that you asked kind of led to that really cool situation to get to explain a cool strategy. But that's just the little glimpse of the power of being able to come to situations and figure out what would make sense. So that was really fun. I like that.
Yeah. And how, speaking of Rich, how is his deal going, or is he just down there checking everything out right now?
He so far that one is one that he is taking over and might sell it to recoup some of the partnership costs that he had. But that's like one of the last things he has to clean up right now before he is ready to buy some more multifamily.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's definitely good stuff.
Absolutely. All right, guys. We'll look forward to hearing from you. I know Steven will go ahead and give me an email. If you guys have any emails, go ahead and let me know, and we'll all see you guys next week.
Awesome. Definitely appreciate it as always, Donato.
You got it.
Thanks, Nano.
Thanks,
You
man.
got it.
Alrighty, thanks, guys.
Absolutely. My pleasure. See you guys soon.